Well, you know what? Let's take one more minute. I know we got lots of people that are messaging all of the chat groups. One more minute, and then we are going to start.
Sana's got more power. You got more power.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay, a lot of people already. So who's excited? Let us know. I think it was just like what you're wearing is beautiful, Sanas.
Oh, thank you.
South Africa is also here.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dion. So excited, super excited. We're excited, can't wait, sprayed up. Excited is an understatement. All of us, yes, excited for Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, Australia Day here today. I'm excited. So
Amazing.
Church, super excited. First time on a webinar. Welcome to our call.
Wow.
Elizabeth Herman Benoit. Wow.
Awesome. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. For those of you that don't know us, my name is Sanaz Human. I'll be co-hosting, of course, with our amazing special guest speaker tonight, Carl Richard, which you will hear from in just a minute. And of course, David O, who heads up our regulatory at Opulence Global. You got a chance to hear from myself and David quite a bit, but tonight we have our amazing Microsilver specialist that's on our line with us tonight. So time is valuable and knowledgeable. So we want to give you as much power and as much training tonight. I want to welcome everyone. Carl, I think we got literally every continent. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is, what part of the world people are in. Everyone's excited to hear from you. For those of you who have met Carl in the past, he is absolutely just a wealth of knowledge. He has been with us since the introduction of our personal care when we introduced our Microsilver line from our amazing, Fairy Flawless anti-aging regimen. He's been instrumental in the development of our Microsilver technology, and you're going to hear a lot about that tonight. But I want to give you all one more chance. Get your team to be on this call. Whoever is not on this call is going to miss out. They're going to kick themselves later and say, oh my God, I wish I had my entire team on. Call them, message them, WhatsApp them, Viber them, call them, do what you got to do, but get them on because it's going to be an amazing call. You want to hear everything that you need. Of course, we are at a point where, the stay home economy and working from home has become instrumental. And all of us are working from home. All of us are working from our home office. Now imagine having a powerful business and products to be able to do that. So to tell you a little bit about Carl, Carl is, of course, our Microsilver specialist. Carl graduated from the University of Waterloo. So he's a fellow Canadian right here, just like David. He's also a fellow Canadian with his BAs in systems engineering. And, I remember the first time that I met Carl, I actually thought he was a scientist. His knowledge and experience in the personal care industry and the medical industry is just absolutely overwhelming. He's become a North American distributor, and he's partnered with BioGate AG from Germany to be able to distribute and, of course, build the brand and the business. Carl is responsible for all of the business development, ladies and gentlemen, of all the North American marketplace. He's been instrumental in helping us to develop those product lines that you see, our Microsilver toothpaste, of course, our Microsilver spray that, has just been, we've done the pre-orders for. And the technologies under his direction include, of course, the Microsilver. And this is why we call him the Microsilver expert for skincare, personal care, medical, and wound care application. So his efforts are creating new products and paradigms to address skin issues and, of course, that are drug-free and, of course, effective. And that falls just in line with what we do at Opulence Global. Part of the Safe Home Revolution is about creating proprietary ingredients and products that are going to be safe for you and your family. And that's why we include them as a part of our Safe Home Revolution. And of course, Carl coordinates all of the antimicrobial testing, research and development services, and of course, through his partnership of BioGate. He's been, of course, instrumental in the new development of the BioGate technology, and he's also become involved in the implementation of new launches, including the coordination of contract manufacturers and suppliers. And this is where Carl and I work hand in hand when it comes to developing all of our Microsilver products. So with that, Carl, I want to welcome you to our Opulence Global webinar. We are so excited to have you as our special guest this evening.
Thank you very much, Sanaz. I'm, as always, honored to be a part of your evening here tonight, and I'm looking forward to trying to provide some additional information and share some more knowledge on Microsilver, and look forward to this evening's call. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, Carl, you know, I cannot believe it's been over 3 years ago that we started the development of our Microsilver products. And one of the first products, Tom Heiner, who is our master formulator for the Fairy Flawless, you know, worked on, of course, one of our first products, the Fairy Flawless lineup. And from there, our relationship has just grown and expanded and really taken a life of its own. So I'm super, super excited to start our call tonight. In the meantime, Carl, I'm just going to, you want me to share the slides myself?
Sure, it doesn't matter, however you want to.
Absolutely. I'm ready to go with it, so I can definitely share them for you. I've already done the introduction, ladies and gentlemen, but let's just jump right into it, Carl. We have a lot of ground to cover this evening. And of course, when it comes, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right, let me just close up some of my screens and let's get into it. All right. So all of you got a chance to see Carl right here on video, and as well. And of course, David, I know you're just getting ready for the call. When you are ready, just jump in at any point if you want to add anything as well. For those of you, again, David O is part of our regulatory team, and he's on the call with us this evening as well. All right, Carl. So, you know, first, before we start to share all of our different products, I'd love to be able to, for you to take us through a little bit of the Microsilver BG. Of course, this is a trademark. Take it away.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you very much. Maybe for some of you, it's a recap, but I think it's still always important to note how does Microsilver differentiate itself from other silvers? Because, you know, there are other silver technologies, but this one is very unique and very different. So I'm just want to touch base on the differences of this technology. So most silvers are a nano-based silver consisting of small nano-sized particles, 5 nanometers, 10 nanometers, but our Microsilver is basically a very large particle size of 10 microns that sits on top of the skin. It's the only silver that has all these natural designations. So it's certified as a natural ingredient by EcoCert and Cosmos Natural, which are the 2 leading organizations in Europe. It's also certified by the Natural Products Association in the United States. It's vegan and so on. So the whole key to our technology is that it consists of very large particles, and at the same time, it has this sponge-like surface structure, which you can see here in the picture, which gives it a very high surface area. So similar to what you would achieve with very small particles, but all in the safety of a very large particle that adheres exceptionally well to the skin and provides lasting action on top of the skin without going in to the skin and becoming systemic. So that is the key to this technology. We have various approvals. It's an FDA master file. It's used in skincare, wound care, other applications, and it's produced in Germany under medical device manufacturing standards, ISO 13485.
Amazing. And of course, you know, it's got tons of approvals, Carl, that has gone worldwide as well. And this is not a new technology. It's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, it's been, it took over 10 years to develop at Germany's largest applied research organization. They do about 2 billion euros of applied research on an annual basis. So it took a long time to develop, but it's initially was put into the marketplace in 2005. The key focus was, of course, in Europe, because that's where the technology was developed. And it really only started to come over to North America when I introduced it over here. Now, of course, we have some customers, and one of the key things to note is that in North America, the only MLM company or a company like
Direct sales.
Opulence is your company. So all the other people are either retail or they're in some other form of fashion, but there is no other MLM company on the marketplace in North America. So even though we have proven technology with a lot of different customers, you are definitely still very unique in this marketplace.
Absolutely. And we're so proud of that, Carl. And thank you for mentioning that, because I think it's really different. It's really unique that we have been sort of the first company. There's a lot of direct sales companies out there, MLM companies out there. And in the direct sales industry, to create and to be unique is really a key factor. And that's something I think we've, hit right on the nail with. So we're super excited for that. All right. Next one, let's talk a little bit about the history of silver and why it's important in our lifestyle.
Sure. So history of silver. Yeah, silver's been around for a very, very long period of time. It already started way back when in Persian Empire and also the Greek Empire. Cyrus the Great, who was the founder of the Persian Empire, was using silver water casks to prevent the water from going bad, to try to eliminate some of the harmful bacteria in drinking water. Silver has also been used in the French soldiers at the World War I. They had silver-lined canteens, again, to try to keep the water fresher for a longer period of time. They were the only soldiers that didn't suffer from waterborne illnesses during that time. Silver has been used in newborn babies. Eye drops to prevent them from going blind. Silver has been used in cranial implants for injuries and war victims. So it's a very safe and long usage of silver in the world. And it really only took a step back. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I wanted to bring you this slide so at least you
Yep.
can talk a little bit more about it.
Exactly. So silver has, been in the cranial implants I was just mentioning. Sorry, I was ahead of myself there. Also silver eye drops used to prevent babies from becoming blind due to different bacteria that they may contract in the birthing process. So it really only kind of took a second seat to antibiotics in the 1930s, when antibiotics were definitely cheaper and easier to produce than silver. And antibiotics worked very effectively for a very long period of time. But over time, all of the bacteria is able to generate a resistance to antibiotics. So now you're more familiar with all these antibiotic resistant germs, MRSA, MRSE. The bacteria was smart enough to find a way to basically combat antibiotics. But the silver is working in multiple modes of action. And it has 3 modes of action, as opposed to antibiotics, which only has 1 mode of action. And that's why the silver doesn't generate resistant bacteria. And for this reason, the medical industry in particular is seeing a very strong, renewed interest in silver and the usage of silver in hospitals and wound care applications, wound dressings, topical wound care products, just because we know that it's super effective and it is not generating resistant bacteria.
I love that. Wow, that is so powerful. This is one of the amazing things that we have products, Carl, that we've been able to create that we're able to have at home, especially a time like the pandemic, where people, if someone gets a little bit of a cut or a burn or something, they really don't want to go to any clinics. They don't want to leave the house, and they don't want to go to emergencies. And to have a product like this really, really just touches home, I think, for everyone here.
Yeah, no, it's excellent product.
Amazing. So again, Microsilver, let's talk a little bit about this because, the fact that it's got so many different components is so instrumental.
Yeah, so first and foremost, it has an antimicrobial activity. It has a broad spectrum efficacy against multi-resistant germs, against gram-positive, gram-negative germs. It is also effective against viruses. So it can kill the viruses as well. We just have to be very careful about the claims that we make, because as soon as you have an antiviral claim, especially in North America, it is now a medical device and would need to go through a medical device registration, which is very long, and you would get in trouble without doing that. So that's what the pharma companies focus on. They focus on antiviral claims, but it's very, very few companies have ever made an antiviral claim in North America. I think just one or two. So we got to be careful. We know it works, but we got to be careful about what we say. The other interesting thing is that it is also anti-inflammatory, and inflammation is one of the major stress factors on skin that breaks down the skin and causes aging and causes skin issues. So the fact that it's killing the harmful germs on the skin, and the fact that it has an anti-inflammatory response, those are all things that are helping to improve the condition of the skin, to improve the health of the skin, and to help you basically maintain a healthy complexion. It's also microbiome friendly. One of the key factors of having the microsilver is that it stays on top of the skin. So if you would have a nano-based antimicrobial or some other kind of nanoform of silver, that might go into the skin and have some effect on your good bacteria, which is residing deeper within the skin and is regenerated from deeper within the skin. But the microsilver sits solely on top, so it has maximum efficacy against the unwanted germs that we come into contact with throughout the day by touching, by coughing on our hands, by touching a doorknob. But at the same time, it's super microbiome friendly, and we have studies for this as well. And of course, in combination with scientists like Tom Heiner, we can combine the microsilver also with other ingredients that are in some of the products, the Opulence products, and we can create synergistic effects, enhancers, where 1 + 1 isn't 2, 1 + 1 is actually 3. So we have some excellent products that were created for all of you. And of course, we have the long-term efficacy and all of the safety that is associated with a product that is routinely used even in wound care and in medical devices.
I love it. I love it. Keeps on getting better and better, Carl. So let's talk about the effects of course, this phenomenal revolutionary product. So this was, a lineup of products that we created. We're going to get into the products in a little bit, but tell us a little bit about how it works, whether it's on skin, whether it's on your oral health, whether it's on the spray, because it's absolutely phenomenal for me to see how one product could be so diverse and universal. We're using it in our skincare, we're using it in our toothpaste, we're using it as a part of our new microsilver spray that we just launched, and it's going absolutely, we're doing the official launch February 1st. So talk to me a little bit about the science and the technology, because it's so amazing.
Sure. So one of the key things is, of course, in this world, in this pandemic world, everybody is focused on some kind of an antimicrobial. I mean, antimicrobials are not only for killing germs and viruses, but we also know that aside from the pandemic, your skin in general, one of the most challenging factors that it faces is bacteria. About 90% of all skin-related issues, be it dermatitis, be it acne, rosacea, dandruff, odor, it's all a result of bacteria that is residing on top of your skin. And so what you want to have is something that lasts long on top of your skin. And if you look at the picture there in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the coral structure. It has this unique sponge-like structure that helps it to physically cling exceptionally well to skin. So that's just a very, very small, high resolution image, close-up of the particle. The particle itself is much, much smaller, but it allows it to basically adhere to your skin as well as onto textiles and other surfaces. So for example, if you would use the spray and you spray it into your into the backseat of your car or on some kind of a textile, it will adhere exceptionally well physically because of the structure. So the whole idea is I apply this technology onto your skin using a cream, or I apply this technology onto a surface using the spray, and it has long-lasting efficacy. That's the key. If you look at anything like a disinfectant, or if you look at a hand sanitizer, or if you look at some other antimicrobial agents, there's a couple things that are not that great about it. Yes, it has an immediate effect, but on the other hand, it's gone very, very quickly. Alcohol will flash off in a matter of minutes and have no lasting effect. If you have another antimicrobial like triclosan, that will penetrate into the skin. It'll harm your good bacteria and it'll have minimal effect on top of your skin. So what we're really doing is we're depositing the silver on top of the skin, and it can last there until it's physically removed. In the case of your skin, until you wash your skin, it will be there and it will continue to release silver ions, which will help to reduce the bacteria on your skin. The same goes for the spray. The spray, if you apply it onto certain surfaces, it will last very long. If you would apply it onto a textile, we've tested textiles that even 1 week later are still fully antimicrobial.
I'm going to get to that slide in 1 minute. I just want to go through because you just have so much knowledge, and I want to go through them one by one. This was a microsilver test that was done on skin for hours, and I think, Carl, this is one of the key factors that I wanted to talk a little bit about on skin, because right now there's a lot of acne being developed around the mouth area because people are wearing masks, and there's a lot of bacteria, especially for people that are wearing masks for a long period of time. They're finding that there's a lot of acne and scarring that's happening around their mouth area and nose area, especially for people that are doing self-isolations and are wearing masks for long periods of time. And as well as even the ear loops are starting to cause a little bit of irritation behind the ears because the masks is worn for such a long period of time. Some people are doubling and tripling on masks. They're basically wearing their mask, and so they're using the microsilver on breakage on skin, on acne on skin, and I want to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. For example, with people wearing masks all the time, the problem is that you're breathing into the mask. It's a warm, moist environment, and that's the environment that bacteria love the most. So you're having a tremendous growth of bacteria on the inside of a mask, and that's being put onto your face. Of course, the spray will help get rid of that growth. But even just by wearing a mask and not having a lot of air circulation, I mean, your skin needs air to breathe, but just also always being confined, you're having the buildup of bacteria, you're having people get dermatitis, you're having people with acne outbreaks and so on. And the silver in itself, of course, will help to improve that, especially the night serum. The Quad AG night serum is great if after you're wearing the mask all day long, if you can apply that onto your face, it'll definitely help improve any breakouts that you might have, and also improve the condition of the skin in general. It's a nice moisturizing cream to basically try to help replenish and improve the condition of the skin.
All right. So Carl, I want to talk a little bit about some of the science and the research. So we talked a little bit about this already, being directly after application, and then what happens to the skin. Can you just elaborate on this for someone that doesn't understand it?
Yeah, so this is confocal microscopy photos performed at one of the leading research universities in Germany, the Charité, as a world-renowned skin research institute. And what you see there is just high resolution close-up photos of skin cells. And you see in B and C the application of the silver onto the skin, and then several hours later, the silver is still there. So unlike alcohol that evaporates, or unlike some other ingredients that will be absorbed into the skin, the silver stays on top of the skin and is maintained in the skin, and in particular in the skin folds. So all those creases are actually the skin cells, and you can see that that's where the silver is primarily residing, and that's also where you have your higher bacterial burden. So it is there for a long period of time and can help to, again, release silver ions over this period of time and help to reduce the growth of bacteria, which is leading to dermatitis. It's the main cause of rosacea. It's also the cause of acne as well. So it's this long-lasting effect on the skin until you physically wash it away. And on skin, it can be there 2 to 4 hours until you physically wash it away, which is very unique. All other ingredients that I'm aware of are either absorbed in or they're lost immediately like alcohol. They're evaporated away.
So, Carl, this is, I think, one of the reasons why when it came to our Quad AG and our night serum, we developed it so that while people put it on at night, while their skin is resting, while they are sleeping, their skin is able to rejuvenate. And that was a reason that we created our night serum using the Microsilver technology.
Right, that's exactly the case. You know, go to bed, you wash your face before going to sleep, you put the silver on there, it has nowhere to go, it stays there all night long, and you basically have the whole night to have the effects of the silver take place, and you wake up with rejuvenated skin.
And this is, I think, a perfect example of it when it comes to, you know, remaining on the skin over time. I'll let you expand on this a little bit more.
Sure, this isn't a gel hand sanitizer product, and again, you know, this is just a kind of a testament to how long it lasts. In a cream, you would even see higher amounts of silver on the skin after 1 hour. But a gel is very slippery, and more of it would be washed off. And also, you're rubbing it into your hands very quickly, so some of it is distributed on the hands, but some of it is also lost. So the interesting thing here is that although the alcohol is gone in 1 to 2 minutes, 1 hour later, you still have 30% of the silver on your hands. And even after 16 hours, you still have over 18% of the silver on your hands. Wow. So again, if the silver is there, it can help to reduce the germs. Of course, if you would go to the store and you would wash your hands, you would want to reapply. But the whole idea here is a test here to show that it is maintained on the skin. And what happened is they basically just took people's skin and they did tape stripping, and they stripped away after 1 hour on some people, after 16 hours on other people, and then they measured the amount of silver found on the tape strips using ICP-OES, which is inductive coupled plasma mass spectroscopy, which is the most sensitive form of analysis equipment that you can to analyze different chemicals in a tape strip. And that's how we can see that the percentage of silver is still 30% after 1 hour, which is a phenomenal amount of silver, which we know will still be highly active against bacteria on the skin.
Amazing. So let's go to the next slide. I want to talk a little bit about the efficacy of a microsilver. Now there's a little bit of a comparison between hand gels and surface spray, which is basically what we've done with this, of course, microsilver mask spray that we've come up with. So talk to me a little bit about some of the virus control testing that you guys were able to do in Germany. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to reiterate, none of this is to be copied, as clearly on the slides. This belongs to BioGate, and this is why we're having Carl present these slides to us. Go ahead, Carl.
Sure. So we did some testing on different hand gels and also on the surface spray. So the hand gels themselves were alcohol-based hand gels, some with lower amounts of silver, some with higher, some with lower amounts of alcohol, some with higher amounts of alcohol. And the key takeaway is that they're very, very effective and they're very quick acting. The surface spray itself is the same surface spray that you have at Opulence. So this is the Fairies Microsilver Protect Spray. And what you can see here is that even after 2 minutes, you already have a 94% reduction of the viruses, which is very high. And especially because the only active in there is the silver. And if we would have tested this at 10 minutes, we probably would have hit the 99 already. But we did a 2-minute application and a 30-minute application just to show that even 30 minutes later, it's still there and it's still highly effective. So what we can say is that after 30 minutes, we hit 99.9%. And this is using the same surface spray. And the unique thing about the spray is, of course, is that it only has water. It has no alcohol, because the last thing that you would want to do is spray a mask and then put it up to your mouth. You could basically fall over. It's a high amount of alcohol that are in these sanitizers. You could never do that. So the idea was, how do I create something that will last a long period of time throughout the day? I mean, what's the sense of just cleaning a mask for 2 minutes, but then basically you're wearing it for 4 or 5 hours? If it doesn't have long-lasting effects, I mean, you're not going to take it off and spray it every 2 minutes. It doesn't make sense. So that's what we're showing here, is that we have very good antiviral activity on the spray itself.
Amazing. And Carl, I'm going to just skip a slide and I'll go back, but this was also some of the Microsilver BG spray test results that came back, and they were just amazing. Once you showed this to me, I was so ecstatic about this. Talk to me a little bit about this.
Sure. So we know that viruses, when they're applied onto a surface, they'll reside there for a period of time and they'll be basically inactive. And it's thought that in about seven days, all the viruses are gone, right? They don't have their own metabolism. Basically, the way they function is they infect a cell and they use the energy from the infected cell to propagate and to basically infect additional cells. But on their own, outside of a host cell, they don't do anything. They don't grow, they don't proliferate, but bacteria is different. Bacteria has its own metabolism. It can sit on a surface and it can start to grow and proliferate. So what we did was, knowing that if you have germs somewhere on a surface, it will expand and continue to grow. We started to test, well, what happens with this spray after 7 days, and what happens after 14 days after application. So we literally took different textiles and different materials, we sprayed it, let it sit around, and retested them 2 weeks later, and found that even 2 weeks later, it still killed over 99.9% of bacteria in the testing. And that's what this is showing. So it has long-lasting effects against bacteria, and of course it would have the same against viruses as well.
And one of the big things as well, Carl, that I think is so important, that the anti-odor efficacy is so vital in today's world. I want to continue. We have a lot of ground to cover. Where we only got 1 hour. I want to just get as much through, and I have tons of questions that are coming through, which I want to get to. This was an amazing bus study that you guys did in public transit, and I want to talk a little bit about this.
Sure. So we did a study with the bus system. It's VAG in Nuremberg. They're responsible for all the buses, all the subways, all the streetcars in the general Nuremberg area and the surrounding area. And we took 2 different buses, one that had a whole bunch of plastic components, one that had more metal components in there. And we did a field trial to see what would happen over time once we apply the spray to various surfaces. And we tested up to 49 surfaces and 54 on the other bus. And the whole idea was that these were buses that were already in circulation for 21 days. And typically they receive a cleaning after about 3 weeks' time. You can't do it on a daily basis. These things are running, most of the day. They shut down for a small period, but they're only really being deep. They only have a deep cleaning about every 3 weeks. So after 21 days of use and before there was any cleaning at all, we basically just applied the spray to all different surfaces in the buses. And then we measured and we found out what is the activity or the reduction after we sprayed the buses. And we had a dramatic decrease in the number of bacteria. So for example, the textiles, the seats, they had 41,000 RLU, which is basically, it's a light emitting measurement system. And after the spray, it was 601 and 308. So it was a dramatic reduction, well over 90% reduction. But then we put the buses back into circulation. So we sprayed it and then we said, okay, fine, here you go. Drive around for another 3 days and people just use the bus and let's see what happens when it comes back with no additional cleaning, no additional spraying. So 3 days later, we retested it and we saw that the bacteria levels were at 2000 and it's still very, very good. That still represents over 90% reduction with no additional cleaning and with constant use over 3 days. And then we sent it again away and said, put the buses again in circulation and we retested. So even 7 days later, we see these dramatic reduction and continued efficacy on these surfaces. And that is really the power of the microsilver, the ability to provide long-lasting efficacy over time, even in very harsh environments. So, I mean, people are touching the bus rails, they're sitting down, they're getting up again, and we can see that the spray is doing very, very well.
Amazing, amazing. Isn't it amazing, team? Aren't you guys so excited about what you were hearing? These are your products that you are basically distributing. These are products that you have first access to. And of course, Carl, during a pandemic like COVID that has really, really affected the world, it is so instrumental to have it because, sometimes we get into Ubers, we're going grocery shopping. For me, I've actually, whenever I go grocery shopping now, I spray down the cart that I'm going to touch the handle. And I want to talk a little bit about that because a lot of these type of questions come in and I know there's a lot of questions. So the Opulence Microsilver products, ladies and gentlemen, we've talked a lot about this. We've of course talked about the night serum. David always talks about all of the amazing proprietary ingredients that we have in our Quad AG night serum. This is not a stranger to any of you. As you all know, we use this symbol here now. Take a look at my screen, AG, I'm circling around it. This is our Microsilver AG. If we put this icon in your basically bottle or brochure, that means it has the microsilver technology in it. Of course, this drop with the spruce tree is of course our FOL. So these are two proprietary ingredients in this product. But of course, the toothpaste became a huge, huge product, Carl, that we launched. And I want to go back to the microsilver spray in a minute, but we're going to close with that. But I want to talk a little bit about the oral health because as a company, and David has been phenomenal in teaching all of us really what fluoride can do to you. And, we decided to create a fluoride-free product, but we needed to be able to put something that was going to still cleanse the microbes, that was going to get rid of bad breath, that was going to do the teeth whitening, that was going to be safe, and it was going to be children friendly. Talk to me a little bit about this, because of course you were, again, part of the technology, the microsilver treatment when it came to this product line.
Yeah, so the silver itself has been studied extensively in oral care. It's in other toothpastes around the world, not in another MLN company in North America, but it's been in toothpaste already since 2005 or 2006. And there were various studies that basically showed that, again, the silver is retained better in the oral cavity, in the gums, in the plaque of the teeth, longer than leading toothpaste brands. So it has the ability to, again, stay there and have this long-lasting effect, especially if some people have bleeding gums or some people have a little sore in the mouth. You could almost apply the toothpaste as a mini cream into that area to help improve that condition. And not only is the silver used in toothpaste, it was also used in medical devices. So for example, it's in an oral care wound gel for people who undergo cancer treatment. They typically have a lot of sores in their mouths due to the radiation and the chemotherapy. So there's a medical device version of an oral care gel in Europe with the silver in there. And in the United States, as well as in Europe, there's also root canal filling material. So root canal filling material, of course, is sitting in your tooth for the rest of your life. And the whole idea is how to have long-lasting activity. We know the silver is going to last for a very, very long time. So it's approved in Germany by CE, and it's also approved by the FDA in root canal filling material. So these are all testaments to the safety and the efficacy of the technology, which is what you're getting in this amazing toothpaste.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I teach this stuff, and when I hear you, I'm like, wow, wow, wow. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. This product is not out. We'll definitely get back to this. But ladies and gentlemen, this is another phenomenal revolutionary product that's coming out. And, it's our hand and body moisturizer. You guys are going to love it. Carl, as you know, we're using the Microsilver technology again to create this amazing emollients. And David and I are so excited for this amazing product to be hitting the market. So we're going to skip this for tonight because it won't be ready until spring. But when we're coming out with this product, we will definitely get Carl back again and talk about it. But I want to go through our Microsilver spray, because right now we have the Microsilver technology, Carl. And I want to go back to really talking about, I'm going back in the slides. I want to go back to this. Sorry about that. And this is the big question that comes up. The Microsilver spray is basically the product that a lot of people are focused on right now. And here, when it comes to contaminants, we talk about putting it on backpacks, putting it on luggage, putting it on shopping bags. When you go grocery shopping, spraying things down. When it comes to being anti-odor. So I want to talk a little bit about sort of the basics that this product does. And I want to also ask you about the odor aspect of it, because we have a lot of different customers that are asking us different things. And this is where, the Microsilver natural spray, we talk about it being natural. So some of the questions that comes up, people are asking if I actually spray it on my mask and like so. And by the way, this is an alcohol-free product, so you have to shake it every time. Remember, shake, shake, shake.
Yeah.
So if I basically spray my mask with it like so, and it's still wet, am I able to apply it on my face right away while it's wet? Is it safe for my skin?
Yeah, it's definitely safe for your skin. You can definitely apply it right away. There's nothing harmful in there. Of course, it would make the most sense if you know that you're going to go to the store or you're going to be wearing it. I would apply it before. I would apply it before on the front. I'd apply it on the back, both sides, inside and out, and then put it on so that you don't have this wet thing sitting on your face. It's probably not the most comfortable. But is it safe? Yes, it's safe. There's nothing that's going to harm you in this product. And you were talking about the anti-odor attributes. So if we're speaking specifically about masks, there's two elements to this spray. One, of course, is that when you have a mask on the inside, you're breathing into it. It's warm, moist air. You might have eaten something that doesn't smell so nice. You might have bad breath. You're pushing that into your mask, right? And the silver will take care of the bacteria, but there's also another ingredient in there that's a strong anti-odor ingredient. And it's a proprietary ingredient. It's classified as the perfume in there, but basically it's a secondary ingredient that's a very strong anti-odor that will bind different odors immediately. So it will take care of the odors from, let's say, bad breath. And the silver itself will take care of the bacteria and will also take care of the bacteria that cause odors, because some bacteria cause odors, like for example, in a deodorant. It's not the sweat that you smell, it's the bacteria that are feeding on the sweat that have off-gassing and produce the foul odor. So you can apply it right away. It will have anti-odor and antimicrobial attributes. And of course, by all means, spray the outside of the mask too, so that you have some protection on the outside of the mask. Because what people do is sometimes they touch their mask, you're not supposed to, but now you don't want to have contaminated hands. So it's best to protect both the inside and the outside of the mask. And when you're using your mask, you really are supposed to put your fingers around the ear loops, take it off, and never really touch the mask. And when you go back home or in your car, you just hang it up and don't touch it.
So here's a couple questions that comes up, and this comes up over and over. David and I mean, we've tried to, in the most effective way, respond to it. When it comes to the formulation, of course, you were instrumental. When it came to the development of this product, again, you were instrumental. So this product was created for the mask. So we call it our Microsilver spray. We promote it to be able to spray it on the mask. So the question comes up, if someone by mistake ingests it, if the kids are close by, they spray it, if they ingest this product, can it be toxic to someone? We know you're not supposed to spray it, by the way, in your mouth, ladies and gentlemen. I want to reiterate that. But just by mistake, if someone does actually spray it, and while they're, they're this close, they're spraying it, and all of a sudden they inhale it, could it be toxic?
No, if you're just spraying it close by, it's not going to be toxic. I mean, if you're going to take the cap off and drink the whole bottle, not a good thing to do. There's nothing super harmful in there, but there are different ingredients in there, and it's not meant to be consumed. I mean, it's just like, you have the toothpaste. The toothpaste, believe it or not, is able to be consumed. It has to be legally. So there's nothing that's going to kill you in the toothpaste. But again, you're not going to be taking any one of the creams that you have and drinking that either, right? There are certain ingredients in there that are just meant to be external ingredients. So some minimal spray off the side or something, or around your face, it's not gonna harm you. We have many Microsilver sprays that are for the face and so on. This doesn't have any really harmful chemicals in there, but you should definitely not drink it. If you see your kid drinking the whole bottle, I would definitely consult someone. And typically what they do is they say, try to either make yourself vomit or drink lots of, get it out and drink lots of water. But I'm not a doctor in that area. I don't want to touch on that, but it's not meant to be consumed.
Absolutely. So I think the question is not so much consumption of drinking it, but if someone is getting ready, they're eating out, they're going to the food court, they want to spray down the table as a surface to, get rid of any bacteria of maybe someone that was sitting there before, just kind of cleanse the area. Number one, the question is, can they spray surfaces? Although the product is not made for that, Carl, everyone always thinks about versatility. And I think this is the part where I wanted to have you on. What is the versatility of the product? Yeah, the product is made for the mask. Can it be used on surfaces? Because you did the bus spray on seats and on handrails, I'm assuming the answer is yes. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to spray all sorts of different surfaces, and yes, it's effective. Just keep in mind, when you use this disinfectant, like an alcohol sanitizer, you spray a surface, you're killing all the bacteria very, very quickly. But then it's gone very, very quickly, right? So it has no lasting effect. So you have a higher kill effect, but then it's gone immediately. So the silver is great, as if you're running around, you have it in your purse, definitely spray a surface. It will not have 99.9999% reduction of bacteria, but it will have a dramatic improvement in the cleanliness of the object that you're spraying. And also keep in mind that all these disinfectant sprays are really only for hard surfaces. So if you look at some of these disinfectant sprays, they don't claim to be very proficient at disinfecting a textile. They're not meant for that. So particularly any soft surface, it would be great for that. And, other areas where I would use this spray too is the backseat of your car if you have a pet, or on a pet bed. Stuff like that would be great. Or the car seat of your children's car seat in the back. That would be good.
Yeah, I love that. And Carl, the other question that came up for David and I, a couple of weeks in a row now is, can I use this on my hands? Can I spray my hands for it? Again, we haven't made it as a skin spray or hand spray, but can it be used?
Yeah, I mean, you could spray your hands. I don't think there'll be any harm. By all means, spray your hands. A gel might be nicer, but I can't see any harm coming of it.
Beautiful. And that was the other question that came up. If someone basically has an open wound or cut, And if they accidentally spray it on that wound or cut, will it affect it, or will it, is it harmful? And the answer is no, because this is a medical grade silver, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, the silver, it's a medical grade silver, but there are other ingredients in there that again are not meant to be consumed or not really designed for open wounds. So I would definitely not recommend it to be used to try to disinfect a wound. I mean, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you've got a big cut and there's nothing else there, okay. But
Yeah.
you might feel some sensitization, you might feel some irritation, not from the silver, it'll never be from the silver, but there are other ingredients that are in there that are just meant to be external ingredients.
This is a cosmetic, so it's basically meant to
Cosmetic,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Carl, another question is, we know that this is a water-based product, and we always recommend to shake, shake, shake. And David and I covered this again. And David, by the way, at any time you want to jump in to add anything, you're just kind of listening tonight. You're being all hands up for us on the call doing the pose.
Yeah, well, I'm listening. There's some good points. The one thing I just wanted to say is that, don't mistake this as a first aid antiseptic. Just in case. The other thing too is recognize that you can contaminate the product too if you're not careful. You're careless with it. And if you're using this for first aid measures, I think that you're misusing the product, and and if there's an infection that sets in, I don't think that you should be contacting us saying that, someone cut themselves and they got an infection. I put the spray on there and the doctor said that was an inappropriate thing. Of course you're going to say that. That's not exactly what this product was made. And I want to be the first to say this, well, probably the second now, but please use it the way that it was designed. You get optimal results. You've got fantastic products. So this cross-purposing of things and looking for ways of using it within the scope of the product is great. But please don't misuse the product, because you're not going to get the results you want, and it could cause some other problems for you. Okay.
Thank you so much for that, David. I think that's really important. But there's some great pointers. I have tons. The chats, by the way, are blowing up. I appreciate all the comments. So the question that comes up is, based on the conversation, how about if we spray the chair and the washroom on the plane when we're traveling? Is that a good idea? Yeah.
I think the chair for sure. The washroom would be also good if you're going in there. Typically, the washrooms and the planes do have a disinfectant there, but typically they don't have anything on your chair, and you're sitting in your chair the most time. Depending on how long the flight is, if I was on a flight, I would, unless it's super long, I would force myself not to go to the washroom, because that's got to be one of the worst places to go. You're in a captive area. There's no circulation of air. People are coughing and sneezing and doing more, other stuff in there. That's the last place I would want to go. So by all means, you can use it, but I don't think it'll be enough to fully protect you, especially in the washroom. But to clean
And I
your
think if you're in the
chair
washroom, Carl, they can wash their hands as well. I think that's really important. Washing hands with soap is so important to do. And I want people not to get lazy to say, oh, I sprayed my hands, so I don't need to wash my hands. Wash your hands, people.
wash your hands.
Yeah. So another one that comes up, which I think also is great, we covered it in our slides. If I have kids, can I spray it on my kids' toys and just let it dry, just like I spray my Febreze?
Yeah, you could spray it on your kids' toys. I mean, if it's a small kid who's going to be licking a toy, I probably wouldn't recommend it for that. But if they're an older child that is not putting the toys in their mouth anymore, then I don't see a problem with that.
By the way, if you guys are ever cleaning your kids' toys with alcohol-based products, they should never be licking it, because that could be toxic for them as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Carl, one of the things that I do ever since I got it, as you know, I have a dog, and I basically spray her bed all the time to make sure that it always smells fresh. But the other day I sprayed her bed, and then she went into it and she literally started to lick the bed where I sprayed it. And I was like, why are you licking your bed? But she literally was licking it. I don't know if it was because it was still a little bit moist. Is that okay? I've been meaning to ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I would let it dry. I mean, your dog's not going to fall over tomorrow or anything like that.
No, it's
And,
been a
you
week, so
know,
it's fine.
yeah, it's one time, again, won't do anything. But again, there's chemicals in there that should not be consumed. So I think if I would let it dry, and it's great on a pet bed for sure, or a pet blanket or pet clothing. But just let it dry. It's the best thing to do.
Awesome. If I have a spray, if I have a reusable mask, sorry, if I spray my reusable mask, how long can I use it before actually having to wash my mask?
Okay. I would still wash it the way you're normally washing it. Just think of it as an added protection while you're out and about, and to also reduce the odors. And it's going to keep it cleaner for a longer period of time. But if your typical routine is to wear a mask one full day, or maybe you wear it for 3 full days, I would just continue with your standard routine. And I would apply the mask spray on a daily basis. If you're going into an area where you know it's a shopping mall, or there's a lot of germs, maybe you spray it before you go, and then maybe also you spray it after you're there. But if you're just going into work, maybe just once a day would be fine.
Awesome. And is the product flammable?
No, it's a water-based product, so it will not, no.
Awesome. Did you guys hear that? It's a water-based product. So what about if the product is left in the Canadian cold in your car? What will happen to it?
It could freeze. There's a lot of water in there, right? So it definitely could freeze. And if you hear that there's ice in there, and then you start to shake it around, because you have to shake the product around, it won't get mixed up very well. So if it does freeze, you definitely want to let it thaw out and then shake it. It should be fine. I don't think the spray will be damaged. It'll just be ineffective. If you do actuate the spray, pretty much like any spray, it doesn't matter if it's Microsilver or whatever, if some of the liquid gets into the spray cap and it expands, because ice expands, you could damage the spray functionality, and it might not spray as well anymore. So I think a better bet while you're in the middle of winter, if you don't have your car in a garage, would just to put the spray in your purse or in a bag or something like that.
Yeah, I think what's really key, Carl, is that we've been teaching everyone this is a water-based product. This does not have any alcohol in it. So listen to what I just said. This product has no alcohol in it. And this is one of the reasons why it is safe and effective for you to be able to spray it on your mask, put it on your face. Even if you inhale, until it dries, it's not going to be harmful to you because there is no alcohol. That also means that you need to protect your product by not leaving it in the car, because if it does freeze, Carl's saying it's fine, let it thaw out. But investment into your product means taking care of your products, taking care of, your bottle as well. And that, by the way, goes with extreme heat, because if you're in one of the Caribbean countries, if you're in basically Africa where there's a hot climate, if you're in Dubai, the last thing you want to do is leave the product in the sun and let it sort of kind of moisten and boil up the ingredient. All of our cosmetic products, all of our ingredients, whether it's the toothpaste, whether it's the cleansers, whether it's Fountain of Life, we always recommend for you to keep all of your products at a room temperature in order for it to be, of course, long lasting and as well as effective. So it's really, really important, ladies and gentlemen, that number one, you appreciate your products. Number two, take care of your products. Much the same like you wouldn't leave your kids or your pets in the car, hopefully. Don't leave your products in the car. Take it with you. So the other thing as well that I do want to reiterate, this product is not a drug. This product is not a cure. None of our Microsilver products are a drug or a cure. So for you to say, can I cure coronavirus? No, it is not a cure. It is not a drug. This is a product that is made for you to spray on your masks. This is a product, it is made for you to protect your families, This is a product that the technology and the science behind it has shown that it basically will be effective against cleansing microbes, which is the terminology that we're using here in Canada and North America. It is a phenomenal product for all of you to use. You have to understand that it's not magic. If you wash your hands, if you wash your mask, if you wash the surface, if you use a cleaner with alcohol on a surface, it will take the product away. You will have to reapply it again. It is not a product to drink. It is not a product to spray on your, it's not a product for you to spray in your mouth or in your mouth area at all. It is a cosmetic product. It is made for topical. You know, the other day, Carl, I was cooking and my hair smelled like food. And I was about to leave and I hate the smell of food. And I'm like, I wonder if it'll work on my hair. It's surface. So I tried it. It actually worked on my hair. It took away the odor from like cooking. And I was like, wow. So it doesn't only work on masks. So listen, you gotta be careful. You gotta be cautious. Don't spray it on your face. But you know, if you are somewhere where you don't have access to sanitizer, soap, water, yes, it is safe for you to apply it onto your hands and your skin. You know, don't get your kids there to do a twirl and spray them all over, you know, from head to toe. You know, it's not a perfume for you to spray it all over yourself, but you can put it on your clothes and you can protect yourself from so much. But be logical when you're using a product. All right, another question that comes up: if I'm, you know, spraying to clean up a table and I'm about to have food and it gets on my food, can I eat that food? I'm going to ask you, but I'm just kind of, this is the emoji I want to give you right now.
I mean, I don't know how, if you spray it on the table, I mean, unless you're spraying all the food, then, you know, I probably would eat it if you just sit there spraying. But if a little bit of, you know, if you spray the table and then you put an apple on the table, can you eat the apple? Yes. You know what I mean?
Spray your table before you eat, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so I answered that. Okay, I've already answered that one. There's tons of questions. Hi, Sanaz. When can we expect to have some marketing material like the toothpaste? We need this ASAP. Agreed. So February 1st, we will be launching our Safe Home Revolution book. And in there, we have all of your material in there. And as well, we're going to, because we've become a very digital world, we are doing an online virtual catalog for you guys. Danny's working on that. So, and I'm so excited for her to release it. So it's going to be a digital catalog where you can actually WhatsApp or Telegram or email brochures to your customers. Carl, is there an expiry date for the spray?
It's typically, like most products, it's about 2 years. It's a standard cosmetic product. I think on the packaging, we have an expiry date of 6 months after opening. So that should be fine. I mean, if it's unopened, it'll last for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Health Canada, they just say 2 years, but it's basically
2 years is the typical for Health Canada, also for the United States. So the testing has been done for over 2 years. You have that testing data, and then we also have that little symbol that says best. You know, I think it's 6 months after opening, if I recall that correctly. Can't remember that little symbol.
Yeah, I think
is it 12 months? Maybe it's 12 months.
12 months for us.
Okay.
It's 12 months. We have it on here. So, by the way, for ladies and gentlemen, right on your bottle, there's a little jar. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little jar here, and it actually says 12 months with the jar open. So that basically means 2-year shelf life. Once you open it, you should use it within 12 months. It is a 98 mil, so you definitely should go through it. Okay, Carl, I mentioned that we should keep the product at room temperature. That is, you know, that could be vast, as it is basically very different room temperatures in different countries. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think you just want to avoid it from freezing. So, I mean, you know, hopefully it's above 5 degrees Celsius. And then, you know, you don't want it to start evaporating too, right? I mean, somewhere around 40 degrees Celsius is what is typically used as a high end. In cosmetics, I'm sure it'll be fine. If it's a little higher, nothing's gonna break down. But I would put it, let's say, in a hot car that might actually reach much, much higher temperatures if it's outside, right? So if you're somewhere in Arizona, the inside of a car can probably hit well over 45 or 50 degrees Celsius. So that I would not recommend.
Okay. And so if the product, well, I'm going to repeat that again. So if you spray the surface with this product, it can last up to 2 weeks. But if you clean it, you will have to reapply the product again. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, to be safe, we're only saying it'll last a week. We've tested it to 2 weeks, but that's again in a testing scenario, ideal condition. Considering you're going to be moving around and using different. I don't know if you're spraying a purse or if you're spraying a backpack. It's going to be used more. So I would say, spray it every week at a minimum. And if you're using a mask, I would probably spray it once a day as a minimum when you're using it. I mean, if you spray a mask today and then you don't go to the store, you don't have to spray it tomorrow. You can definitely, not spray it the third day either. So it'll last on there. It's just once you're using it all the time, you're breathing into it, you're touching it and so on, then I would spray it on a daily basis.
Okay. I have tons of questions coming in and I want to get to all your questions. Are you okay with our time? I know we've gone over. Yeah. You're okay? All right. Yeah. So David, you're okay too?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just following along tonight.
Amazing. I know I'm just kind of learning as well. What is the difference between Nanosilver and Microsilver?
Okay. So Nanosilver typically is produced in an electrolysis process, and it's a liquid suspension of very small fine particles that are on average 5 nanometers to 10 nanometers, sometimes up to 20 nanometers in size. Our particle is 10 microns, and there's 1,000 nanometers in a micron. So our product has an average particle size of 10 microns, which is the same thing as 10,000 nanometers. So when you compare 10,000 nanometers to, let's say, 5 or 10 nanometers, we're 1,000 times larger. And for that reason, it stays on top of the skin, it won't penetrate in, and there's no concern. If you're involved in cosmetics, and in particular in Europe, they don't want to have any nanoparticles in their cosmetic products, and not just silver, just in general. They want to avoid nanoscale technology, and the cutoff for that is 100 nanometers. So 100 nanometers or anything less is considered nanotechnology, and nanosilver with 5 to 10 nanometers falls really well within that 100 nanometer cutoff. So it is very nano, whereas the microsilver is at 10,000, so it's a lot larger than this cutoff. So the whole idea is, again, very safe a product with the microsilver, and microsilver itself is produced in a wholly physical production process, and that's why we can get these natural product registrations. The nanosilver is an electrical process and a chemical process. We have no chemicals in ours. Ours is pure silver in and pure silver out. So there's no chemistry involved, and that's why the nanoscale will never have an EcoCert certification. They'll never have a National Products Association certification. It's just not possible.
Do you guys get how powerful that is? I mean, it's just pure silver in, pure silver out, no chemicals. That's the bottom line. No chemicals. Safe for you, safe for your environment, safe for your family, part of the safe home revolution. By the way, after listening to Carl, now do you guys understand why I thought he was a scientist? Because I can sit there and I'm just like, huh? I'm like mesmerized by everything that he says. All right. So, Carl, other people are saying there's a lot of those, those new plexi sort of masks, the full mask that people have. If people are using those and not fabric masks, can they use the product as a spray on their sort of those plexi style masks, plastic masks?
Yeah, I think you could spray it on those masks. You should definitely let it lie flat right? And then spray it and let it dry, because if you put up a mask that has a plexiglass, it'll probably run down. It might also leave a little bit of a residue. So if it has, the spray has something in there that helps it adhere to different surfaces. And in doing so, it will leave a slight film or residue, which you will never notice on a textile material. But if you spray a clear see-through material like a plastic, it might leave a film on there that is visible. So not a problem, but might not be as sightly as you would like it to be.
Fantastic. And then also, we have registered this product as a cosmetic. So the question was, do we have a Health Canada number? Maybe David, this is something you can reiterate.
Well,
I
no,
got
no,
surprised.
there-
I got
there's
surprised.
not
Yes.
there's no Health Canada number affiliated with that. It is going to be registered, with Health Canada though. So that is not an
Yeah.
issue, but it's registered as a cosmetic. There's not a number that we assign to anything like this.
Yeah, it's basically like our Fairy Flawless. Our Fairy Flawless doesn't have, a Health Canada number. It is a cosmetic. It is registered. The reason that we have a number for Fountain of Life is because, again, it's a health product. It's a supplement. It's ingested. It's a very different protocol. I also have a very special guest here saying hello. He just walked in. Hello to our CEO and founder who looks spooked.
I was just doing another conference call with Philippines, and you doing it here globally, and it's just want to come and say hi. You actually ordered food, Uber Eats. See, it's a home-based revolution. Everything gets delivered to you, except we're at the office now. And it's been sitting there for about an hour. And but no, we'll wait for you. Finish up. And what time is it? 10 o'clock here now?
No, it's 9:15. We were going to live it over, but I'll be there.
It's awesome. All right, I'll see you guys.
Hi, Ramin.
Thanks so much. All right. So I think we answered that. I do want to also reiterate one more thing that's been coming up in a lot of our chats. But before we go there, my kids have iPads and sometimes they are sharing their electronics. Is it safe to spray on electronics? Great question.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any electronic, right? You try to avoid putting water on it. Most electronics these days, you can put it in the rain. Nothing's going to happen to your cell phone. I mean, you're not going to dunk your cell phone in the bathtub. And it's the same thing with the spray, right? So if you're going to spray down your electronics, I would just spray it a little bit. But again, it might leave a little bit of a film on the viewing part. So maybe you just want to spray it and wipe it away just to kind of use it as a semi-disinfecting or semi-cleansing solution. But I think you might find that there's a little bit of a film on the part which you don't want when you're touching your iPad or your phone.
Amazing. I love
I
it.
would use it. Sanaz, I would use it. They were doing tests of these iPads and everything at these stores, and they found a very high fecal count all over them.
Yeah.
So that's from kids, most likely, playing with it. So if they're loaning it to their friends, absolutely. It's something, if you want to prevent cross-contamination, yeah, it'd be worth spraying it down, wiping it off, and wiping it down a little bit. Yes, absolutely.
Ew. That got everyone's attention.
Well, don't play with iPads at Best Buy. That's for sure. If you want to stay healthy.
That's so gross. Ew. All right. That just hopefully woke up everyone. All right. So we've gone through this a little bit before. I'm going to do it. We already did. What is the difference between microsilver, nanosilver? And then what is the difference between that and colloidal silver? We've covered that. We have a lot of new people, but there is different types of silver out in the market. We are the best, of course, but what is the difference between that and colloidal silver?
So colloidal silver is basically the same as nanosilver. Nanosilver is typically 5 to 10 nanometers. Colloidal silver is also small forms of silver. Sometimes they're up to 20 nanometers, a little bit larger, but for sure, they're well below the 100 nanometer cutoff. So you can still consider them as a nanomaterial, and they're typically not used in cosmetic products these days.
Okay. And I don't know what this ingredient is, a product that has nitric oxide in it versus microsilver.
Okay. I don't know all the ingredients out there. I'm not a formulator, but I'd have
I
to
think
look
that's
into it more.
toxic anyways. It's very different because our product is all natural, so that's
Yeah.
okay. All right, so when it comes to if the product gets in someone's eyes, what should they do?
Well, it's like, you know, anything that you get into your eyes, the best thing to do is to flush it out with water, right? So I don't think it's nothing's really going to happen to you. I would again avoid spraying it in your eyes. You might again have some sensitivity in your eyes. The anti-odor ingredient, you know, something in there might add some sensitivity. So if you're concerned, just flush it with water. It's like what everyone does in you know, grade 11 chemistry. They have the water stations everywhere. Anything gets in your eyes, just flush it with water.
Yeah, I think what's really important, ladies and gentlemen, you use your logic. I know you guys are trying to see how powerful the product is, and you keep on asking all these, like, you know, some of you crazy questions. It is a phenomenal product, okay? I mean, you guys saw what Carl shared earlier about the efficacy of this product, what it really does. Use your logic. It is a safe product. There is no alcohol in the product. But at the same time, it is a cosmetic product. It is made for a topical perspective. It is made for fabrics. It is made for metals. It is made for your masks. It's made for your garments, scarves, kids' scarves, toques, inside their boots. Oh, another question that came up. If we have leather sofas, can we spray it on the leather and will it damage it? That was another question.
Yeah, in general, you don't want to spray water on leather, right? Because you can leave water spots. So I guess this would be the same thing. I probably wouldn't recommend it for leather.
Okay.
Not again because of the microsilver, more just because you try to avoid spilling water or spilling any liquid on leather.
Okay, so there's, I guess in the chat says, I'm a little bit confused. Isn't microsilver smaller than nano silver? And then Joel says, no, microsilver is large.
Yeah, microsilver is much, much larger. So nanosilver, think of it as 10 to 20 nanometers, 5, 10, 20 nanometers. Microsilver is 10,000 nanometers in size. And micro is much larger than nano. So there's 1,000 nanometers in 1 micron. So we're a lot bigger.
We're bigger, better, stronger. Straight up. Done. Chapter closed. Easy. All right. So another question that comes in is the efficacy of the 99.94% applicable to COVID-19 viruses? We are not making that claim at all in this product line. Those were some of the research that I think in Asia, they make some of those claims, Carl. I think in Germany, because it was tested and created the product there, they're making some of those claims. Can you just back that up a little bit?
Sure. So early on, when this testing was initiated, we did a lot of testing, and we started right out in March of last year. And at that point in time, there was one particular strain of virus that was used as the test virus for all testing in Europe. And it's this MGA test virus. And basically, you have enveloped and non-enveloped viruses. And the coronavirus is an enveloped virus, and this one is the one that we tested against is in the same family as the coronavirus, but it's not the exact coronavirus. Because it's so easily spread and it's a health risk, only very, very high-end government labs or military labs have access to this to use for standard testing. And that's why they use something that is very similar, but not the exact strain of the virus.
Okay. We can go on and on. I'm going to do a couple of more, and then we're going to end this call, because I think this call is one of those that can go for 4 or 5 hours. Maybe we'll do a Saturday call with you so we can have a lot more time with you. The question is, and I had to actually, can you nebulize the spray? So I guess is that one of those things you put in a mister?
Yeah, well, what you're trying to do, this is that I don't know why, like we've discussed this throughout this whole thing, that this is not a drug or a medication. And so if you are not going to nebulize this, you are not going to create a vapor so that you can breathe this in. I think we've been
Oh, is
very
that what it
clear.
is? It's
Yes,
to breathe
and
it.
we've been
Oh,
very, very clear. And this is scary when someone asks that, because you said that, I don't know how many times tonight, that there's not a drug or a therapy. We have not suggested that you do that. And to nebulize any liquid into an aerosol so you can breathe it in for any reason whatsoever is not the purpose of this thing. And this is why we have this Crossfire. But at the same time, I'm surprised this question came up. And I hope whoever asked this question will realize how dangerous
Yeah.
they can be in just taking a product and nebulizing it. I worked in respiratory medicine years ago, and it is such a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah.
Please do not do this. Please do not even think of doing this. Do not inject it. Do not ingest it. Do not breathe it in directly as a medicine, anything like that. So I gotta be stern about this because, you know, Sanaz, you've been very clear about this all night.
mhm.
And yet someone's asking, can we use this as a medicine? The answer is no.
No.
We're trying to.
I wouldn't have even asked the question. I actually didn't know. I thought it was maybe in like the mister or something. I didn't know it was actually.
No, this is nebulizing is definitely something that, you know, that I worked in hospitals in respiratory medicine and nebulizer years ago, trying to create a better one for them. So let's be careful with the products that we make.
Absolutely. So
Please.
please, team, the answer is no. Again, look, don't oversell what you have, right? You already have a phenomenal product. By the way, I want to just go back a little bit. You guys all have an amazing natural element of a product that you can go out there and protect yourself and protect your families and utilize. And it's safe and it's effective and it works and it's phenomenal. So when you have something amazing, it's almost like, oh, I have a great husband, but if he did this, he would be so much better. Like if he's already great, he's great, right? Don't try to see what else he can do to become better. So it's almost like you're taking your product and you're saying, yeah, it's great, but can it do this? And can it do that? And can it do this? Like it's not magic, right? We are putting a lot of time, money, resources, research, development, and we're putting these calls together for all of you so that we can basically become a better company and create proprietary products and ingredients for all of you. Don't try to oversell it. Be, grateful for what you have and use it with what you have. One thing I do want to reiterate in the closing of this call as well. Remember that our business platform is direct sales, and therefore you cannot be selling these products on Amazon or eBay. It is just not the platform of what we basically do. And to do so, your account could be terminated and shut down. So I just want to make sure that I do, of course, reiterate that. That being said, Carl, we can go on and on. David, we can go on and on. There are so many questions that are coming up, and they're all great questions, and David and I will try to cover them. Carl, maybe we will steal you one Saturday where we have more than an hour, because we've already got an hour and a half and we still have tons of questions, and if we didn't get to your questions, we apologize. But one thing I do want to close this call with, and pay attention to this part, this product is still in pre-order. It will be going up in price February 1st. If you have done your pre-order, please go ahead and, of course, do your pre-order tonight, because product prices are going up by the end of the month. That is end of the month. The product prices are going up. As you know, company-wide as well, we are going to be increasing all of our products by 5% due to the COVID by the end of the month. So if you haven't already taken advantage of this, go ahead and do it. And of course, by getting these amazing products, hopefully you will appreciate all of the fabulous science, technology that comes into all of our amazing Microsilver products that I'm holding before you, that are absolutely amazing and life-changing. Invest into yourself, invest into your families, invest into your health, invest into your products, because really that's what this product is all about. With that, Carl, I want to just thank you endlessly for your knowledge, your experience, your time. I know it's late in the evening for you, but you've taken the time to be on the call with us. And of course, Christine, it's like 4 a.m. for you, and you're such a trooper in Germany, being our super host of the month and being on with us. So I thank you, and I'm grateful. And I don't know how you're going to sleep after this call. And of course, David, you know, you are my right arm and my left arm when it comes to regulatory, and I cannot do what I do without you and your knowledge and experience. And I know we have a lot of our staff on tonight. Of course, we have our sales development manager, Daniela. She's like, I got to be on tonight. I got to learn this. I want to be, you know, upfront and personal. And we have so many of you from all across the globe that spend the last hour and a half with us. We hope that tonight has inspired you, has trained you, has taught you so much, and makes you really appreciate how valuable Opulence is and really what we bring to the forefront for all of you as, you know, an amazing company, not only with phenomenal revolutionary products that we have firsthand in, but the investment that we make in training you with phenomenal trainers like Carl, like David, to be on the call with all of you tonight. So I want to thank you all, our amazing panelists tonight. Thank you to all of our viewers. God bless you all, and have an absolutely amazing day, night, wherever you are. Carl, any closing comments?
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time tonight and to be able to talk about our Microsilver technology. I hope you've learned something, and always no problem to give me a call, and I'll try to work together with you. So thank you very much for staying up and staying awake during this whole time.
David, any closing remarks from you?
You know what? You guys are building a whole portfolio of beautiful products. I think that if you understand and you take a few moments in time to understand the power behind each of these products and how to apply them, I think that you could do very well in terms of making changes in many people's lives. The products here are safe, they're effective, they've been proven in laboratories. This is nothing new. This is a science that has been proven time and time again. But you have a real opportunity here, and I hope you take advantage of it, because these are products that work. These are products that make a difference, from skincare all the way out. Now we've got products that are really doing something against some of the pathogens that are causing havoc in our world. And now you have the tools. So please use them, take a few moments in time and use them the way they're designed, and you will do so well with them. So best of luck to everyone, and thank you for your time.
Amazing. God bless everyone. Thank you all so much. Don't forget to join us every single Monday for our product Crossfire. And of course, last but not least, our founder and CEO on his forensic call tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, wish you all an absolutely fantastic evening. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.